Hey guys, it's Jamie Lee from Kelly Ray Photography on Etsy, and I'm here with another video tutorial for you. So today we're going to be working with the 9 cube box template. So when you purchase this from my Etsy shop, there's going to be a couple of different files that you can download. So some of the files are going to be PSD files, and some of the files are going to be JPEG. The PSD files have to be used within Photoshop. That's just because they are overlays. So they are designed for people who use a physical cube, opposed to the backgrounds which are JPEG, which can be used in Photoshop or can be used in different editing programs, and they do not require the use of a physical cube. So for this background, we're going to be using I'll show you the background actually. It's this background here. Actually, we're going to be using the thicker version. It does not require the use of a physical cube, but we will be doing the edit in Photoshop. All right, so I'm going to jump straight over and I'll be showing you a few different things along the way. I'm really excited about it because in this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do the overlap cube features. So I'll just show you an example. Back on this image, see how these children's feet are overhanging into the next cube, and this little girl, her head and her hair is falling into the next cube. I'm going to be showing you how to do that as well. So I'm really excited. Let's jump to it. And I'm going to go ahead and open straight up Photoshop. So this is our background that we're going to be working with. When you open it up in Photoshop, this is exactly what you will see. In the layers panel, it will only have the background and it won't have any additional layers to start with. It will already have all the cubes filled in, and this is a solid background, and this is the one that we're going to be using today. Alrighty, so when you first open up Photoshop and this is what the background will look like, I want you to make sure that your layers tab is open, and you'll find that on the right hand side here under layers. If you can't find it there, you can press F7 and that's a shortcut that will open it, or you can go up the top here into the window panel right next to the help sign desk, and click the window panel and it will become a drop down menu, and if you go about halfway down and select layers, it'll pop open for you. And this is how we'll be working with our different images, and I'll explain how everything works along the way. All right, so now that we've got our blank box, now that we've got our layers tab opened, we need to put some subjects into our background. So I'm going to be using this photo here, and I adore this photo. This is going to actually be one of our overhang photos. So you see how these children are sitting? We're going to position them in the blank box template so that they're sitting on the edge of one of the cubes. All right, so how do we get our subjects from this photo to our actual background? We're going to select our subjects. So there are a couple of different ways, but I'm going to show you the quick way. And then I'm going to show you what to do if something isn't quite right. So we're going to go ahead and right up the top where it says File, Edit, Image, Layer, Type and Select. If you can go into the Select section and go down until you find Subject. About halfway down, select Subject. And what's going to happen is the program is going to automatically try and differentiate between your subject and the background. So it's going to go ahead and it's going to select the subject to the best of the program's ability. And if it isn't quite right, I'm going to show you exactly how we can make it better. So my computer's being a little bit slow today, but I absolutely love this image here. It's going to be perfect for our overhang. And it is one of the best little features of doing this cube is how different you can do every single cube and all the images that can work together. It really is such an adorable background. All right, so this selection has done actually very, very well. So as you can see, what we're looking for the outline of our subjects for exactly as we want them to be in the cube background. So I did not want any of this background selected. I didn't want the sled or the underfoot selected. All right, but what about if our program did accidentally select something? Let's go through that. So say we want to select more of the background. Say that we wanted to actually select the sled. What would happen then is I would go to the left-hand side. Under this home feature, there's another few menu items. 4 down, there should be quick selection tool. And if you click onto that, it'll come up with your selection tool here. And it's like a little mouse, so you can move it around. And so up here, underneath the layers section up here, there you'll be able to see a plus and a minus. If you select the plus symbol, now this turns into the add selection. So if you hold down, if you click on your left-hand mouse and hold and then drag it over the selections that you want to include, it'll move the selection over, so it'll include more. Now, if I wanted to take away some, I would go back up to the selections tool up here and I would click the negative sign and then I'd bring it back down, and again I would click and I would hold it and I'd run it over everywhere that I didn't want selected. So I'm going to take away these bits and pieces. All right. I'm going to go back in a little bit more over here. Okay, as you can see, it's taken away some of the pajamas and here on the pant leg and up here on the arm. So I want to be able to try and add that back in. So I'm going to go back to the plus symbol and I'm going to run it over these pajama bits. Make sure to get the elbow. I'm going to make sure to get the hip down here and a little bit more of the thigh and down near the knee. All right. Oh, I'm also going to, I'm going to take away a little bit of this foot here. Okay, that's just my preference. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. These negative areas in the middle, that's perfect. I want to make sure that they're gone in between these legs here. Yep, they've taken away that. That's perfect. You should have a pretty perfect outline of your subjects. Once you're happy with that, move back over to the left-hand side and right up the top underneath the home button, there should be the move tool. So we're going to click the move tool and we're going to hover it over our subjects. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to left-hand click and hold down, and then we're going to drag it. So make sure that you hold it down through this entire step. Okay, we're going to drag it up. Even after you can't see them, we're going to keep dragging it up. We're going to drag the mouse up and hover it over the blank box tab, and that's going to open back up our background. Now, once we're in our background, then you can release. All right, that's going to drop your subject straight in the next background. Alrighty, so these guys are looking a little bit small here. I want to enlarge them. So what we're going to do now is you'll be able to see on the right hand side in your layers tab, by dropping the two subjects down, it automatically opened up a new layer for you. So you have the background and you have layer 1. So we're just going to do this just so you can understand, but see this indicator, it looks like a little eye. It's a layer visibility. So if you click that on and off, they'll disappear and reappear. Okay, and depending on what layer you want to work with, that's the layer you need to highlight. So if I were to go to the background, okay, that's the layer that I'd be working on. If I wanted to highlight layer 1, this is the layer that I now want to work on. Okay, so I'm in layer 1, so this is the boys layer. And what I'm going to do is Control T, and it's going to control transform. That's what control means, control transform. Okay, so hold down the control button and T at the same time and release. And it's going to automatically select the boys, and now we can resize them. So what we're going to do is we're going to left hand click down and we're going to drag them a little bit larger, They look pretty blurry here, but that's okay. When we release the button, they'll go back to normal. All right, so what we're doing is we can move them around. So all I'm doing is clicking and holding and dragging and moving them around. And I think this is a really good image, by the way. I think I'm going to put them right in the middle. And what I'm doing is I'm going to drag them down until it looks like their bottoms are sitting on the ledge there. Okay, and I want them pretty much in the middle. Okay, once you're happy with that, go ahead and click enter, and they come straight back into focus. And that is how you do the overhang, which is really cool. I love this feature. All right, so hopefully you've taken about 8 more photos. And what you can then go ahead and do is the exact same steps for all of your images. So you select the image. I'm going to go through another couple with you just so we get the hang of it. And then I'm going to show you how to also add in some text, anything like that. So let's go into the next one. So I've finished with this image now. So I'm going to click away from it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename layer 1. So then I know just at a glance what I'm looking at. So I'm going to double click and I'm going to rename them boys middle. And that's just going to help me differentiate between all the layers when I get a more clustered feeling. So every single time that we move something onto the grid, it actually creates a new layer for us. Okay, so I'm going to go into File. I'm going to go into Open. I'm going to go into, I already had these pre-selected. I'm going to go into this clip art here. Now, this one is a PNG, so it means that the background is already removed. So you can find PNG files just on Google. You can just type in whatever you wanted. To get this one, I just typed in baubles PNG, and then I looked through the images until I found one that I liked, and then I was able to download it onto my computer as a PNG. And when I open it in Photoshop, this is what I'm left with. All right, so once you bring up whatever you want next, click and hold. Also, sorry, the way that you know it's a PNG is when you open it, it's got this checkered background. And when you click on it, you can actually move them around without the checkered background moving with it. So I'm going to click and hold, and I'm going to move it over to the template. And what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to Control T, and I'm going to resize it. Okay, so I can move that up, and you can have it hanging from the front of the box if you want, which is really cute, or you could resize it even smaller, and we can position it on this back line. I don't know if you can tell where I'm trying to show you this back line here. If you position it there, it'll give the illusion that it's hanging right at the back of the box and that your subjects could be in front of it. Okay, once you're happy with that, select enter. I'm going to move it up just a tad. Ooh. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to grab another photo just to give you guys another run through for it, just in case you're feeling a little bit lost. I'm going to go into open. It's going to bring up where all my photos are. I'm going to go into downloads. I'm going to select, I don't want that one. Maybe I'll get this one here. Actually, let's go down. Let's go down a little bit. Sorry, I'm mumbling to myself a little bit. I'm just having a look. What else I could grab? Okay, this one's cute. Okay. Alrighty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select subject. It's selecting the subject for me. Hopefully it just gets this little boy, and we'll be good to go for another one. Sorry, my computer really doesn't like me today, does it? If you guys have any questions at all, pop them in the comment section down below, or feel free to message me on Etsy at any time. I consider myself pretty quick to answer anything. If I'm online, I answer immediately. I am in Australia, so if you guys are in the US or a different part of the world and I'm not answering straight away, I might be sleeping. Okay, so now that this baby is selected, I don't know if you guys can see here in between his legs here. I don't really want that, so I'm going to go up into the selection tool on the left hand side again. I'm going to use the minus symbol up the top. I'm going to run it over that, hold down, click, run it over that. Oh, it took a little bit too far. Okay, I'm going to go back to the plus. I'm going to add a little bit more back in his leg, hopefully. All right. Okay. He looks pretty good to me. You know what? I might grab this ball as well. Okay. This bit can be a little bit fiddly if you've got a lot of things in the foreground. You might feel like you're going back and forth a little bit. Okay. Once you're happy, go back up to the move tool. Up on the left-hand side, select the move tool. Click and hold down, and we're going to drag all the way up to our background. We're going to drop in the baby. Then what we're going to do is Control T. We're going to resize Bub. See, we could put him there, or we could put him into a whole new background. Okay. Now, obviously, I'm going a bit faster. I would generally take my time doing this, but this is a tutorial. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Once you're happy, select OK. Let's do one more really quickly because I wanted to show you how to add text as well. Okay. Alrighty, so go back into File, Open. I do have an image I wanted to show you. Okay, now these are some of my own family photos of when I did these a couple of years ago. Now, my children are a little bit more grown. I'm going to select this one. So I do know that these are already in the box, but I'm going to act as if they've got a different background, okay? So I'm still going to go through the same steps. So I'm going to go select, come down to subject, select subject. I'm not too sure how the computer's going to respond, how the program's going to respond to this one. It might select the whole cube. Hopefully not. Hopefully it just selects my babies. And then I'm going to show you how to add text. So now that this has been selected, what we're going to do is use the move tool again. And we're going to click, hold, and drag all the way up into the next screen. And we're going to drop it down below again. Okay, so Control T to resize. And we're going to decrease the size and make these ones a bit smaller. I'm going to move them into the cube. All right, when you're happy with how they are, I might make them a little bit bigger. So one of the things that you want to make sure is that with every subject that you put into the box, that they're not too small, they're not too large, they look like they're supposed to be there. Okay, so now that we have a few different layers, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some text to the sign. Okay, so what we're going to do then is we're going to head over to the left-hand side. We're going to come down about 3/4 of the way down to the horizontal type tool. And it's just this big T here. And then we're just going to left-hand click. and it's going to change our mouse into the text tool. Alrighty, so our text color is white. We know that because it's up the top here, white. If we want to change the color, you just click into it and you can change it to any color that you'd like. I'm just going to make mine just a little bit whiter, more of a true white, and click OK. We can change our font as well using these drop down menus, and you don't actually need to commit to a specific type of text. You can change it. I'm just going to have this one here, the Berlin Sands, and I'm going to keep it bold. You can change the size. I'm going to keep it like that, and I'm just going to see how it looks. So where I want the text is on the sign. So I'm going to make a little box, and I'm going to delete what's already in there, and I'm going to type in 2022. Then what I'm going to do is I would like the text to actually be on an angle so it looks like it's meant to be on the sign. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just hover my mouse on the edge corner until it has this little curved arrow. Once it has the curved arrow, I can hold down my mouse on the left-hand side and then slowly rotate it. And what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to make sure that this line, this top line, actually is in line with this fabric line here. Okay, once you're happy with that, go ahead and click enter or this commit tick up the top. All right, and I might actually move that down a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up to my move tool, right up the top on the left hand side, click again. We're going to come back. We're going to make sure that our text is selected on this side. Click on our text and then we can move it around. So I might like it right there. So I'm happy with that. Okay, so one of the things with working with layers, to be able to move a specific subject, you need to make sure that you're on the correct layer. Okay, so I can't move this little boy up in the top right hand corner by clicking on him and moving like this unless I'm on the correct selected layer. Okay, so if something is not moving, just have a look at your layers, see and make sure that you're on the right selection, and that will be a lot easier. All right, I hope that this has been helpful. Please, if you have any questions at all, if you need any help, put a comment down below, send me a message on Etsy, anything. I am here to help, and I really do love helping out anyone that needs any assistance. This really can sound like a foreign language the first few times that you might be doing this. I really hope that I've explained it enough that you're kind of getting the idea. But if you do get stuck, please just ask. I am more than happy to help. I love helping. So yeah, just shoot me a message, anything, and I'll get back to you as fast as I can to help out. So I'm going to head off now. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it, and happy editing.